So that was Dipali. Next, we're going to have Joshua, known as Parth, speaking on the topic various tips to be a sales and marketing coach. Round of applause for him. Thank you.
When obstacles arise, you change your direction to reach your goal. You do not change your decision to get there. Hello everyone, today Joshua is here to share various tips on how to become a sales and marketing coach. Every sale has 5 basic obstacles. No need, no money, no hurry, no desire, and no trust. For those in sales coaching, it may come as no surprise that there are things you can do in order to become better at position, which will in turn help your clients become more successful. The first step is to know the role. To be an effective sales coach, the role must first be defined. Determine what you are going to provide as a sales coach. Likewise, your client should know their roles in addition to your own. This leaves no guessing and everyone will be on the same page, creating a more harmonious relationship. The second point is to teach positive thinking. As anyone in sales knows, attitude is half the battle. Having a positive attitude will definitely take you further. Attitude can help you get your foot in the door, get meetings with decision makers, and create a more stronger value proposition. This leaves no guessing and everyone will create an effective relationship. Last but not the least, be accessible. Sales and coaching is a time-consuming task. You should be realistic about whether or not to have the necessary time to take on and help a new client. To be more effective and better sales coach, determine how many people you can coach at once. In order to conclude, I would like to say, you will get all you want in your life if you help enough other people get what they want. Thank you.
Yes, it is also said, if you give a little love, you'll get a little love of your own. So that's something Joshua shared with us. Can I have Joshua's parents raising their hand, please? Yeah. He shared a beautiful message with us. The kind of confidence. Let us know, how do you feel about it, ma'am?
First of all, I thanks Mukul sir for all this, because he was not very confident child earlier. But from last 2 years, he is into this My English Home, and I have changed. He has changed a lot, and he is more confident now. His speaking skills, his communication, everything has improved. And I thanks to Mukul sir for all this.
Yeah, I'm sure, because he just touched the topic called marketing and sales, and tomorrow he's going to be one of the general managers of the corporate, or maybe running a startup, right? Because we all the educationists to mentor as well. Yeah. So thank you so much, madam. So now we'll have Mr. Wilson and Mr. Tapan for the next musical performance. Can we request them on stage, please? A round of applause for Mr. Wilson and Tapan, ladies and gentlemen. A round of applause. Thank you.
I'm so happy that to say about this instrument. This is called cello. This is called cello, but we spell it C-E-L-L-O. In English, people call cello. So it's not a cello, it's a cello because it is Italian word. And the full name of this instrument called violoncello. And it's from the violin family. And it's born in Europe, and we found it in around 15th century. And it is a fantastic instrument. Nowadays it's well popular in the world, and it's become like a solo instrument like violin. I play lots of world music, starting from Western classical and finishing at Bollywood or Indian stuff, as well as lots of Indian folks and Western folks and anything. But today we just prepared, because of the short time, we just made as best as possible for you guys. Please enjoy with us. Thank you. next one is Western classical music. The composer called Wozak is a Russian composer, and this is a fantastic one. And yeah, that's the music called Humoresque.
Now, that's what I call escaping from it. They deserve a wonderful round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure today I'm going to be taken as one of the talk at the dinner table. But yeah, they deserve a wonderful round of applause all together. So thank you so much, Mr. Wilson and Mr. Tapan. That was an amazing performance. So now I would request one of our honorable guests, Mr. Aman Bakshi, to kindly come up on stage and enlighten us with your word. Can we have a round of applause for Mr. Aman Bakshi, ladies and gentlemen? Sir, please.
Hi, good evening, everyone. First, a huge round of applause for all these young guns who've been standing here and communicating in such a wonderful fashion. A round of applause for everybody. It's been 17 years, and whenever I come up on a podium to address a certain set of people, I have sweaty palms and butterflies in my stomach. But you look at these kids, they're about 10 years of age, and the way they're communicating is phenomenally well. And the reason they are able to do so is because of the efforts My English Home and Mr. Rana are putting into your children, right? I'll take about 2 minutes of your valuable time here and tell you why I'm here. I think Mr. Rana invited me to a forum like this to address everybody here because he thought whatever I've achieved in my life is only because of communication. And he's damn right about it. I've been into the corporate world for about 17 years. I've had amazing positions like a vice president of various organizations. Right now, I'm mentoring certain startups in the education space. And you might be wondering, itna sab kuch, I'm sure he would have been a very studious guy, would have gone to a premier MBA institute. But let me tell you something. I was never a studious guy. My mom's sitting right there. She knows before every exam, I used to be slapped left, right, and center because I was never good at studies. I never went to a very premier institute about 2 years back. So why could I, and how could I achieve so much in my life? The only reason was that I could communicate, I could speak English the right way, I could pronounce certain words which were challenging for a normal person to pronounce. Thank God my father's not here today. He still calls monotonous, monotonous. Okay, which is not the right way of pronouncing monotonous. All right. So 5 years back, 10 years back, education, studies was the only thing which a child was supposed to do. My mother used to tell me, study hard, study well, secure good marks, you'll be successful in life. Because there were certain opportunities which were there. A child could become a doctor, a child could become an engineer. There are certain other opportunities which were available. But in today's time, there are a whole lot of opportunities which are available for a child. And the most important thing for a child to have at this point in time as a trait is how does a child communicate with his peers, his colleagues, his friends. I know of a person in my house who went to the US, did a pilot course, spent about 30 lakhs there. But when he came back to India, he could not get a job because he could hardly communicate. Now try and imagine a situation, the pilot's flying the plane, something wrong happens in the aircraft and the pilot is unable to communicate with the passengers. What happens? Everybody is a piece of meat at that point in time. So what I'm trying to tell you at this point is that communicating is a very important element for a child in today's time. Marks are important, but if a child is able to communicate in an effective fashion, success is just around the corner. And I think My English Home is just doing that. I've been telling Mr. Rana to open multiple units of My English Home, take it to a larger set of children and audience who would be benefited out of a program like this. So I'll take this opportunity and request Mr. Rana that let's open a venture as fast as possible and take it to a larger set of students. Finally, congratulations to Mr. Rana and My English Home for whatever they are inculcating in your children for them to become successful in life in their coming years. Thank you so much for your time.
As I said, I'm already a learner. Be it calligraphy, photography, choreography, that's how we pronounce things. But there are times that I still make mistakes, and that's why I never escape from mentioning that I'm still a learner. And nonetheless, Mr. Aman didn't even miss a chance to mentor Mr. Rana as well. And so that was a wonderful insight that he mentioned, and he talked about, shared his vision. And I'm sure My English Home is going to take up this mentoring session point. So you're going to definitely scale up and have a larger number of students and people. So now, without wasting much of our time, we're now going to move ahead and have the next round. The last but not the least, we're going to have the debate round, where we'll have 5 of the people coming and debating right here on this very stage. I'm sure we have all watched, politicians and speakers debating up on television, right? We've all seen this, right? How many of you follow NDTV, Z News? We all follow these news channels. You see people debating. Have you all lost? We all watch television, right? We all watch television. Can you please raise your hand, all of you? Are we all listening to me? If yes, please raise your hand. That's how I take your attendance, respectfully, please. The rest who are not raising, you're not listening to me? Wow, that's good. So we are all listening. So we're going to have 5 of these amazing students. Can I please take the pleasure in welcoming Mr. David, also known as Rachit. He's a reporter of My English Home news channel, Mike D'Souza. Okay. Yes, so whenever I call out a name, I'm sure you're going to welcome them with a round of applause. Right? So, two. I got to ensure my check. I'm going to do my job very properly. I'm going to be in the audience, and let's see how many of you applause and welcome all of them. Can we have a wonderful round of applause, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you so much. So next we're going to have Matthew, known as Hardik. He's a spokesperson of BJP called Sambit Patra. Right? We all listen to Sambit Patra, do we? Right? Next we're going to have Eric. He's an investment advisor. The character name is Harsh Rongta. Right? Next we're going to have Mr. Paul, also known as Sambhav. He's a cyber security expert. Ritesh Bhatia. We're all aware about these famous people. And now, Palak, she's a spokesperson of Indian National Congress, Priyanka Chaturvedi. So the role is of Priyanka Chaturvedi. So we have all of these speakers. Yeah. I'm sure you're not Arnab Goswami. You will let your speaker speak. 1 minute. The nation wants to know. No, 1 minute. 1 minute. Wonderful. So we have these amazing speakers up on stage, ladies and gentlemen. With another round of applause, let's welcome and allow them to start the debate now. Right? Let me also mention the topic that we have. Can I ask you to please sit down? That's okay? Or you wish to debate being in standing position?
That's fine.
Right? Okay. So the topic is, should Aadhaar be made mandatory for banking? Right? We all know that every day we're getting a message, link your Aadhaar with your phone number. Unfortunately, Congress, you couldn't really do much about my phone number, which was Reliance. It has already been blocked. I went on 4th of January. They said it can't be recovered now. So I'm very sad, BJP, I don't like you, that's why. I had to change my WhatsApp number, by the way. This is very bad. This is very bad. Congress, my vote next time goes to you. Though I haven't voted yet. Anyways, so round of applause for them once again, ladies and gentlemen, and all the best from our side. Thank you.
We have asked this question several times whether or not Aadhaar is safe. The Supreme Court is currently looking at whether or not Aadhaar infringes on our right to privacy. But picking another backdoor entry, the government has now decided that by 31st of March, if you have not submitted your Aadhaar number or linked it with your bank account will be frozen. What happens to my money in my bank account when my account is frozen? The fundamental question we are asking this evening is this: should Aadhaar be made mandatory for banking? Of course, like we always do on our show, every panelist will have 30 seconds to make their opening statement so that everyone can make their statement and everyone is heard. Joining me on this show is Mr. Sambit Patra, National Spokesperson of BJP, Harsh, who is a semi-registered investment advisor, Ritesh Bhatia, the cyber security expert, and Ms. Priyanka Chaturvedi, National Spokesperson of Indian National Congress. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I want to first start off with Mr. Sambit Patra. I'll ask you one question, that why government wants Aadhaar to be made mandatory for banking? Your time starts now.
Well, the one thing I want to mention to the viewer through your channel is that linking of Aadhaar, a unique identity, is extremely important, either through social security schemes or delivery scheme mechanisms. There were large-scale leakages. We have seen multiple identities created for the social security schemes. It was one of the major, most significant and elementary source through which corruption was flowing.
I couldn't agree more. That's a very valid point.
Absolutely. And I will also quote one of the CAG report that said that out of 26 social security schemes, there were large-scale leakages, and that was being done through multiple leakages. And even multiple identities were created. So what the government wants is that there should be one bank account through which transactions should flow, so that there cannot be money laundering and linking of transactions.
Thank you so much. Now I would like to bring Ms. Priyanka Chaturvedi. Ms. Chaturvedi, do you believe that banking and Aadhaar should be linked? Your time starts now.
No, it is not at all fair to say that it should be made mandatory at all for the banking sector, told for the simple reason that it is completely violation of right to livelihood, as you pointed out correctly, and also the right to privacy under the Article number 21 of the Constitution is still pending with the Supreme Court, and it has been pending with the 5-judge bench. I'm sure that they will take this, the concern of the people into account. Now what I find it amusing is that the government of the day today seeks to intimidate us every day, that if you don't link it, you will face problems of the Income Tax Act, as if you don't link it to your bank accounts, then they will freeze your accounts.
Thank you so much. Now Ms. Priyanka Chaturvedi, now I would like to bring in Harsh. Harsh, do you believe that banking and Aadhaar should be linked? Your time starts now.
Before I say anything, I must confess, I tried reading that notification before I came in over here. It's a fairly complicated notification. First of all, I don't think it can be made mandatory, simply because unless you have stated 180 days prior to applying for Aadhaar, you cannot apply for Aadhaar. So very clear. I think it's meant to segregate people who have a unique identity from the people who don't. We already have a KYC. It's not that anybody is arguing against KYC. A thing very clear. UIDA or the Aadhaar card is a very effective means of KYC. PAN card is really not. Right to privacy is a much bigger issue. It goes beyond banking.
Thank you so much. Now I would like to bring in Ritesh, the cyber security expert. Ritesh, the other day we had information of, Bangalore, people who are not even Indian nationals have brought our cards for 100 rupees each. Yeah. So Ritesh Bhatia, if you believe that PAN card is not a reliable KYC document, is there any reason to believe that Aadhaar card is, Mr. Ritesh?
Absolutely not. I mean, if you go and watch it on YouTube, people have started showing up how to create fake IDs, free Aadhaar cards, and agree to what they say about KYC. We already have that. Why do we need Aadhaar card integration?
Absolutely, I agree with Mr. Ritesh.
Is it basically to say that, okay, know your customer and know your citizens as well? Do you want to perform that kind of surveillance?
No, sir, you're not getting my point.
It's my time to speak. And even every no is noted.
What kind of moves are you talking about?
Any kind of moves, whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm spending, nor do I keep repeating on a channel that that's the data is the new oil. Every country is doing same with their citizens. And quite surprisingly, we are going too fast without adequate security and privacy measures. We have no privacy laws. We ourselves have seen where all the Aadhaar numbers have been displayed, have been leaked, and have been breaches.
What about the leakages Mr. Sambit Patra was talking about?
Exactly, sir. Answer this question.
Sure, sir, sure. Even that data has to be considered. We are the third most attacked country in the cyber attack. All the time, people are just looking for the ways how to attack our system. Yes, we may have a rock solid system, but wherever there's technology, there's going to be breach, sir. There's going to be breach.
Thank you so much. Now I would like to engage the audience. There is a gentleman raising his hand. Can I have your name, please, and your question, sir?
Hello, sir. I'm Rajesh, and I have a point in my mind. Like few days back, I lost my 9 lakh rupees, which was transferred to another account in Andhra Bank, Bangalore. And sir, I felt heartbroken because my whole money has been just vanished in 2 minutes. Tell me, sir, tell me, what this government is doing?
What exactly your question?
Sir, my question is, Axis Bank does not have any control on them, and they were demanding the KYC, PAN card, and the driving license. Sir, what are they going to do with the driving license if I can't relate any number with that number? And I hope over here everyone wants the same answer, like what this government is doing for the cyber crimes. Answer me, sir.
Your question is, will Aadhaar stop this kind of crime?
Absolutely, sir.
Mr. Ritesh Bhatia, will Aadhaar stop this kind of crime? Will this gentleman be getting his 9 lakh rupees back, sir?
Absolutely not. First, let's understand why Aadhaar was created. It was meant for underprivileged and for other beneficiaries. But more importantly, it was for identification and not for authentication. What about Aadhaar? In case of a PAN card, you can download it. It gets delivered to your registered address. But what about Aadhaar? You can download it overnight, put it in a Photoshop, change your picture, change your address to whatever you want to do with it, and it looks exactly the same. My point is, sir, how is it going to help us? The crime is just going to increase as a cyber crime.
Now I would like to ask a very simple question from Mr. Sambit Patra. That is the aim of government here surveillance? Will the government through a push of a button will be able to tell for every citizen whom you called, whom you sent text messages to? Is the aim of government here surveillance, Mr. Patra?
Sir, government is within its law of enactment to 139 AA constitutionally to link these to the bank account. So it is constitutionally valid, and it is with an aim of evading tax non-compliance, money laundering, and layering of transactions. There may be shortcomings.
Sir, there are shortcomings, sir. There are shortcomings, sir. No, sir. You have actually stripped the citizens of India naked as to what they have, what are their assets, and what next they are going to do. Let's suppose if they go and buy a popcorn, that is
Absolutely right.
Thank you so much, sir. That's why it has come out under the PMLA Act. And the second thing is in the KYC in the bank, sir.
Let's just respond to the point, because we are all talking about preventing money laundering here. And if all the information is already available with the government, then what are we so nervous about?
The point I want to make is that I think there is distaste for something that offends the sense of privacy. And I totally agree and empathize with that. But I think as a BJP spokesperson says a lot of this is already possible. Now what we have to look upon is that what are incremental risks? Are these hacking risks increasing? Maybe they are, but what I mean to say is the hacking risks remain what they are. One important thing that we are forgetting is that this is just an authentication for opening a bank account. This is not to
Sir, let me be very blunt at this moment. The way BJP is acting is no less than a dictatorship which has undermined the democracy of our country, sir. Absolutely, I disagree completely. No.
I disagree with Ritesh. Okay, let me say, sir, let me clarify it out, sir. Let me say, you can speak afterwards. I disagree with Ritesh when he says the kind of looting that has happened to the gentleman. Here you mentioned out how his money was taken out. If the KYC had actually been done with a unique ID, the chance of tracing his money would be so easy, sir.
Over the last 3 months, people have been receiving calls which says they are the executives of SBI banks and they need their Aadhaar details. A few smart customers have asked a couple of counter questions and realized that was a hoax call. So Mr. Ritesh Bhatia, please help us understand why is there a group of people, sort of collecting Aadhaar numbers, and what can they do with that information, sir?
Okay, so this is where it will answer all the questions why I have been saying that Aadhaar is a complete no is because the crime is just increasing, sir. People are falling prey to it, just like we heard the case of 9 lakh lost the gentleman had. So the operandi is very simple. These days I get a call, guys seek some information and started transferring money to multiple bank accounts. Now they need to go and open a new account for which they need an Aadhaar card, sir. And that's the reason they are calling. They have their addresses, they have their mobile numbers. Right. What does the bank need, sir?
Technically the bank also needs a PAN card.
And biometrics? Depends. No, sir, what about the biometrics? You can't, sir. You need the Aadhaar card to be
Sorry to say, sir, your facts and figures are absolutely wrong, sir.
You cannot open a bank account without
No,
an Aadhaar
sir.
card.
In fact, let me disagree with you, Hashramcha. It actually takes a photo of your Aadhaar number.
Just by knowing my Aadhaar card number, knowing my mobile number, and even knowing my bank account number, nobody can open bank account.
No, sir.
Nobody can.
No, sir, no. You're absolutely not informed on this. Today only, I called my banker and I asked him what all I have to do. He said, sir, या तो आप मुझे अपना 12-digit number SMS कर सकते हैं या आप online भी कर सकते हैं. Now this is identification.
Right.
But what about authentication? Ideally, I should have been called in the bank, my iris scan and my thumb impression should have been taken. Now that's what we call authentication.
Right.
And it can be, sir, it can be.
So I
I
just want to
agree.
point out, Harsh Rungta, that I just opened up a bank account and my thumbprint was not done. My iris scan was
See?
also not done. Now I'll ask a question from Mr. Sambit Patra that aren't we fundamentally not understanding what the Supreme Court is trying to tell us, sir?
Sir, if you link everything to the fundamental rights in the Constitution, then there cannot be rules and regulations.
Fundamental rights.
Sir, you're rewriting a constitution? How amazing that is, sir.
Ma'am, how can I be rewriting the
That is amazing. You need to
What our
understand.
Constitution says, so I refuse to accept the fact because you people are making a fuss about our Constitution, right? That's
How
what
come, sir?
Constitution.
Sir, there is a basic structure of a constitution,
Please
sir.
wait, sir. You and your government are the only one who has been
outrageous.
speaking from the very
Utterly
beginning,
nonsense.
and no action has been taken, sir. Just remember the way demonetization was a failure.
let me speak,
This
sir.
book
Okay,
going to be the
utterly
same,
nonsense
sir.
what
Just
you were
remember
saying.
that.
Okay, Mr. Patra, you have 10 seconds. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Sir, right to privacy is an important right of the citizen, but the protector of this right is the government. Government is having all this data. If you are saying don't take biometric, don't take Aadhaar card, don't take iris mapping, then
We are sorry, Mr. Path, for not letting you complete your point. We are actually running short of time now. Now, I would like to leave the audience with the very same question that should Aadhaar be made mandatory for banking? Viewers are welcome to share their comments on our YouTube channel and Facebook page. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to My English Home News channel.
All right. So that was a wonderful debate. It was David, Matthew, Eric, Paul, and Jack. I'll request Madam Bakshi to please come up on stage and enlighten us with her words. You can be in the center. I'll help you, ma'am.